Good Sunday morning to you. I'm Rebecca Turco in for Curtis McLeod. Our weather experts, of course, will keep a close eye on Tropical Storm Ian as it moves near Cuba today. So now's the time to get prepared, not scared. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is mourning their second line of duty death in 19 months. Today, the College Park and Rowan community is mourning the loss of a middle school student whose body was found after an extensive search on Lake Fairview. I do want to let you know about a crash, though, over in Osceola County. New crash. This is in Kissimmee at Buenaventura Boulevard and Florida Parkway. FHP is reporting that there is a roadblock. Destination Space News now. SpaceX is not giving up on its attempt to launch a new round of Starlink satellites from the Space Coast. Good Sunday morning. I'm Rebecca Turco in for Curtis McLeod. Time now for your top stories and weather in 90 seconds. A mandatory campus evacuation is set to go into effect tomorrow for students and staff at Bethune-Cookman University. Here's a live look from the university, which made the announcement ahead of potential impacts from Ian. Students are encouraged to leave campus as soon as today. President Joe Biden will not come to Orlando this week after all. The White House confirmed he's postponing the trip due to Tropical Storm Ian. The president was scheduled to attend a Democratic National Committee event in Orlando on Tuesday. And SpaceX successfully launched a new batch of satellites into orbit from the Space Coast last night. SpaceX is now on track to hit as many as 60 launches by the end of the year. Now let's get a check of your weather with certified meteorologist Amy Sweezy. And Amy, lots to talk about with Ian this morning.
Yes, it is still a tropical storm, but the forecast in the overnight hours early this morning did shift a little bit more to the west, a little bit closer to the Panhandle, but still much of the state of Florida, including Central Florida, is still in this cone of concern. So you can't let your guard down yet. It is way too soon to know exactly where this storm is going, and we certainly could still see it curving closer to Central Florida and rolling right across our area. So we don't want anybody to panic, but you definitely need to prepare, just over prepare instead of under prepare. Meanwhile, today's a good day to do it. We do have a few showers and storms back in our forecast compared to yesterday, which was very dry. It'll be more humid. We're headed to near 90 inland, and our rain coverage is at 30%.
Our weather experts, of course, will keep a close eye on Tropical Storm Ian as it moves near Cuba today. So now's the time to get prepared, not scared. In the last 30 minutes, we've learned Governor Ron DeSantis will provide an update from the State Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee. That's expected at 11:30 this morning. We'll bring that to you live. Just yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis expanded his state of emergency order to include the entire state. Late last night, President Joe Biden approved an emergency declaration for Florida, which makes federal emergency aid available to the state. Here in Central Florida, cities and counties are offering sandbags as one way to help you get your home ready in case of heavy rains. And the storm that caused damage in Puerto Rico has now also left its mark on parts of Canada. Fiona knocked out power to many on Canada's Atlantic coast. Officials are calling this a landmark weather event. The storm destroyed homes along the coast of Newfoundland and flooded streets in Prince Edward's Island. Officials are urging people to remain inside.
There are too many people on our streets traveling around, taking pictures and just out trying to see what's going on. We have telephone poles that are falling in around the community, that are falling down. There are live wires on some of these poles. We do not need people out just cruising around the streets. We need you to stay home.
So far, no word on any injuries or deaths in Canada, but Fiona is blamed for killing at least 5 people in the Caribbean last week. Hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans remain without power about a week after Fiona's first impacts. Government leaders and first responders say they are working to restore outages all throughout the island. Spectrum News reporter Juli Cesar Garcia reports from San Juan, where frustration continues to rise.
Indeed, the frustration.
Next, we've seen shortages in school staff right here in Central Florida. Teachers and school employees nationwide are also struggling to keep up with the cost of living. Inflation and surging rent prices are pushing out teachers who can't afford to live in the areas where they work.
It's sad to live the way we are because of inflation, and everything is going up except your paycheck. Your paycheck is not going up, so it's like, oh Lord, how am I going to continue to survive?
Many educators blame the rising cost of living for forcing them to leave the profession overall. As we've seen, that's heavily impacting the push to fill the gap of teacher shortages across the nation. Daycare costs are going up, presenting challenges for families nationwide. Spectrum News 13's Erin Kotel Altman explains how those rising costs are impacting working families.
Whoosh, I got you.
Point guard Cole Anthony is making waves on and off the basketball court.
Kid just meeting an NBA player, whoever, well, like, it didn't matter what type of NBA player it was. I'm like, yo, this dude's like, he's where I want to be when I grow up. Like, it's the coolest thing in the world.
How he's giving the next generation of athletes a chance to show off their skills and build their confidence. But first, let's check in with certified meteorologist Amy Sweezy again. Amy, how's it looking on this Sunday?
Yeah, today will be a little bit cooler.